Holy crap, these guys are drafting way too fast. Guys, welcome back to the Galaxy Battle. Immortals take on Leviathan here in the second game. Immortals gonna push their way through game one as if it were nothing. Leviathan's lanes, they didn't work. They just didn't have enough support for Garter. I think that's probably the big missing piece there. If they get Garter off to a better start and have him not die like 10 times, then yeah, the Leviathan side probably could have then rallied around a late game BSJ Medusa, because he was getting a lot of farm. He was doing really well for himself farm-wise, but at a certain point, when you're that far behind, doesn't matter who you are. If you don't have any allies, like, you just can't do it. So here's hoping Leviathan get a little bit of a better performance in this second game, and this is something that already they are a little more comfortable with. We've seen some insane Whitebeard plays from Jakiro, which is crazy to say because Jakiro is not really one of those finesse heroes, but it definitely seems like his positioning, what he should be doing, what he can be doing, it really shines when he's playing this hero. We've seen Nusham wreck house on the Sanking as well. For sure, that last game, I don't think is representative of the skill level of Leviathan as a whole. Just to make sure to fix up that mid lane situation, and they should be a-okay. Immortals, though, going to go for something drastically different. Out of nowhere, IO Tiny. I don't believe IO was... I don't think either of these two heroes actually were banned in the last game, so going to have a fresh set here for the Immortal side. Can they play this? Yes, they can. They have done it in the past. It is going to be a little bit of a change of pace, as this is a little bit more new Immortals. The other one was definitely old Immortals, the Bloodseeker and the Puck. Still a very powerhouse combo. I think probably we could all point to Complexity as the team that does this the most, probably. I haven't really been able to watch them through Perfect World. I don't know how much they did this type of thing in that tournament. But, man, it's powerful, especially when you're looking at Leviathan. Sanking and Jakiro are okay at dealing with the relocates. This is typically when you relocate in, you're pretty well clumped up, but they're not, like, super premium. And this is most likely going to be the supporting crew of the Leviathan side. No more room for a Disruptor or anything like that. They can, I guess, still go for a Timbersaw. They want to kind of even further counter the IO Tiny. But, yeah, nowadays, this should still work out. I mean, as long as you're going up against these strength heroes, Timbersaw gets his value, Monkeys Forever plays the hero. So, these are options here for the Leviathan side to try to answer this. For sure, the burden is on Leviathan to answer what the Immortal side more so than vice versa. And Immortals know that there's a Sanking and a Jakiro, but there's not really much that you're going to be really picking up to say, oh, yeah, we're going to counter that Jakiro, guys. We're going to get that done. It's usually not going to be the case. Actually, hold on for 1 second, guys. I got to check to make sure my audio is working in Dota. I see current recording level bouncing up and down. I had some people saying that I wasn't audible in Dota TV, but I'm probably audible now. Yeah, we're good. Okay, everything's fine. Don't worry. Luna also going to be taken out. I do like the Luna ban quite a bit. Why is... I just went to settings and Tiny and Io both froze. I just broke the game. Literally broke the game. Hey, they're moving again. We're fine. But Luna definitely enables Sanking Jakiro by quite a bit. Just adding that additional damage. And, of course, the burst is something they could really easily screw over really any offlane. We'll see what Immortals want to do. They definitely have a crew of heroes that can give the Leviathan safe lane run for their money if they do 3v3. Probably not going to be at their strongest, but I mean, that's just the power of when you have Tiny. You can throw him into any lane, especially with an IO. Put him into any lane with any number of heroes. You can tailor your builds quite a bit. Nowadays, we see Tree Grab being the most important spell to take up. But, you know, Avalanche Toss still works, man. It definitely still works to get those kills. If you have a kill lane, if you have that in mind, you can definitely get it done. Definitely a lot safer, though, to just do the traditional things with Tiny. Get him that those tree grab levels, and then just kind of power farm him. Rubik the Pick is going to be a nice little defensive one here for the Immortals. Maybe a little bit too defensive. Febby, rather. You get a hell of a lot done on that Night Stalker. Like, he was absolutely smashing that early game. And now with Rubik and Io, the impacts you could have is just not nearly the same as a Night Stalker. Like, Rubik just doesn't get to lanes fast enough, as fast as Night Stalker. He doesn't have the damage, he doesn't have the tank ability, can't dive towers worth of damn, so again, all compared to Night Stalker, so the Rubik is going to be much slower here for the Immortal side, which is again not something that the Immortal side really do. They're definitely at their most comfortable when they're just running at you, constantly picking up those kills. And then hopefully they get far enough ahead so that when the catastrophic moment happens, and rest assured it will happen, then yeah, nothing will go too bad. Leviathan, though, going to go ahead and grab an Undying. So this is going to be a Monkeys Forever Sand King with an Undying Jakiro. These are very offensive lanes. And now for Immortals, I'm pretty sure their dreams of offensive tri-lanes are pretty much done and dusted here. They're just going to defensive tri-lane up, if anything. Try to just avoid these offensive lanes coming out from Leviathan. At this point, they're going to be thanking their lucky stars they banned out the Luna, because a Luna pick right now would just make these lanes miserable for Immortals. Like, just so much damage coming out of just the Undying and Jakiro by themselves. Not to mention, you can mix in a Sand King there. You can mix in that mid laner as well. I don't know, maybe getting an Invoker, land some Sunstrikes. Like, that is just such a huge mess. Luna, because she gives damage to her allies, something that no other hero really does outside of Drow. I'm not really sure if that's going to be what they're looking for. They're going to go for a Faceless Void next. Interesting for Leviathan. Usually we see Undyings immediately responded to with the Gyrocopter. I don't think there's really room for it this game. Should be Forev's hero still last. How good is the Faceless Void here? It's pretty darn good. I do think Immortals have enough damage to very quickly burst down any given void at any given moment. Their stuns are numerous enough to make that happen. Faceless Void is pretty thin. But as far as working with the Leviathan lineup, this is going to be the third melee hero, which up against Tiny, especially the new Tiny, is really, really awkward. Like, you can just get smashed if you don't watch your positioning with these heroes. But, you know, Faceless Void and Sand King, both fairly mobile heroes, can at least sometimes work around that. Get the Chronosphere into a Macropyre. That's probably the best thing to combo Macropyre with, maybe outside of Black Hole. You can drop a Tombstone there, just blink into a Chronosphere as a Sand King after having channeled Epicenter. You have quite a few damage options as to how you're going to make that Faceless Void work. If you really want to go for it and go really deep into it, they can also just pick up someone like a Sniper, someone who can just right-click into the Chronosphere, from the mid lane, of course, and just be happy with that. Mirana would be probably close second as far as that is concerned, but she's banned out. Gyrocopter is also not too bad. I'm not really sure if you can run Gyrocopter mid, though. It's not really a thing. They'll pick up Storm Spirit, who is definitely not a hero that works well with the Chronosphere in the traditional sense, but he doesn't do too badly. Basically, you go for whoever's not in the Chronosphere. You'd Ball Lightning straight through, and, well, Faceless Void has 2-3 heroes locked up in that time bubble, so obviously whoever you go for is going to be shit out of luck. As far as hunting down Queen of Pain and Io, Storm Spirit is absolutely premium, so as long as Leviathan give Garter a little bit of support as that Storm, I think they're going to be okay. Now this is, of course, where you have the problem, is that we saw them completely sack Garter up against that up against MP in the last game, and now Immortals will get the Templar Assassin for QO, so it's going to be a Ferret. Okay, that's interesting. I was not expecting that. Who is... Yeah, that's cool. I'm not really sure if I've seen this before from Forev, but he's going to play the Tiny in the quote-unquote off lane. This is a hero, Templar Assassin, that is very, very burstable. And for sure, Leviathan have a good amount of burst. As far as small ticks of damage, they don't really have the most, but hey, you know, Jakiro's not too bad with the Macropyre. Sand King has a couple. You get those zombies mixed in there as well. So this is something that Immortals can definitely abuse, but I do think, again, this game is pretty much 100% around Garter. If they, unlike last game, Leviathan, give Garter some protection, make sure that he's not completely dumpstered in the early phase, then he'll be good to go. By the way, like, Leviathan didn't see this last pick coming either. They banned out, like, all of Forev's heroes. But if they don't have that, then missing a Storm Spirit means that you're 100% reliant on those Chronosphere combos. And that's not too bad, but for the most part, like, you really would rather be reliant on, like, a Ravage combo for the short term over a Chronosphere combo, because Chronosphere is so finicky, especially when you're talking about going up against an Io, who can just channel up that relocate, if he's not in the Chronosphere, obviously, and yank any given ally out of there. So it's going to be up to Garter to kind of fill those gaps. I don't know if he can. We'll see. He definitely is capable of doing so. Like, the player is capable of doing so. But I'm not really sure if they're going to... If Leviathan are going to enable it. And I don't know if Immortals are going to allow it. Like, these are just all the things that have to go right. especially in this matchup where TA is going to have a quite nice time. But for right now, it'll be QO on his trademark TA. Got Dubu on the Rubik. Febby playing that Aya with Forever the Tiny, which is something that is a huge curveball from the last pick standpoint. You got to tether to kill that one tree. Who else we got? We got MP playing the safe lane. Quap. Monkeys Forever is on the Sand King. He's not going to appreciate that Quap on the other end. Got Garter on the Storm Spirit. Rose in mouth. Whitebeard is going to be on the Twin-Headed Dragon. Got BSJ, the Faceless Void, and Nushim is going to be on the Sea Captain Undying. Now, this is going to be Immortals with a pretty greedy draft. Like, this is very greedy. Tiny, if he falls behind, really gets back into it by either getting burst combos. What are they doing? Are they going to do something cute here with pulls? I don't know. I haven't seen this before. But you either get burst combos with Avalanche Toss, which don't really happen nowadays because no one levels up Avalanche and Toss, or you clear stacks, and TA is going to be clearing stacks, so that's just not going to be happening. Forev doesn't want to be trading here. He has 0 armor, and Decay hits him really hard. The tree is great, but it's not that great. Yeah, get him. Hit him in the face. I like it how Ice Frog found a way to make sure that this animation of Tiny carrying a tree is actually used. Because that's the most adorable thing pre-rework, but you would never get an Aghanim Scepter before you get a level of Grow. But now he's got that all the time, so thank you, Ice Frog, for that. Let's keep an eye on what Febby wants to do. They were clearing these trees. I don't think these trees are... I mean, vision-wise, they could be pretty useful, but I'm not really sure if that's, like, super value. Nushim is going to land a 2-man Decay on 2 Strength Heroes. BSJ would probably be happier just hitting the creeps right now. He doesn't really want to be mixed up in all this. But this is already going to be an offensive dual lane, which is going to lack quite a bit of power. First of all, you're going into a dual lane where it only really works, I think, this type of lane setup when you have a Legion Commander, because you do get the heals that kind of go both ways. Tiny doesn't have that, nor does he have enough offensive power. Plus, they're going up against an Undying who's taking strength from both of them. 600 HP total, 300 HP total on Febby. Decay is pretty good, and when you're literally bound to your ally, you're at 220. What do you just punch this guy once and you'll die? I know I'm gonna miss first blood just watching Febby, but man, this guy is walking on a razor thin edge right now. He has his bottle at least, so it could be worse. If that dual breath hit, like, that would have hurt like hell. Let's take a look at what's going on these other lanes. QO is having an okay time versus Garter is getting definitely the upper hand in the damage trades, simply because of that refraction. But I don't think he's going to take any kills unless Garter makes a pretty big error. Already staying at that low HP puts you at a pretty sizable amount of risk. Over in the bottom lane, Monkeys Forever really doesn't want to be going up against this lane. We see Sandstorm already picked up just for safety reasons. Dubu has no vision on the ground, nor does he have any on his person. They definitely do need that if they're ever going to kill off the Sand King, but you can Sandstorm to dodge Shadow Strike. You cannot Sandstorm to dodge Scream of Pain. Oh, QO. QO, what you doing, bud? Okay, there you go. Courier's fine. MP should be getting some pretty nice farm in this lane. And oh, Garter Spill Shot! Ooh, nice Courier Micro. Actually, no, that was bad Courier Micro to get that in that position in the first place. Just because you prevented your Courier from dying doesn't mean it's good. Forev's gonna get chased down towards top lane. One more punch. No, that's a soul from Nushim. Gonna take him down. And this lane setup, I mean, it's a curveball. You got the element of surprise to some extent. Not gonna work out all the time. Did you land a dagger onto Monkeys? Not gonna chase forward for that, though. Like, I'm not really sure what they're supposed to do outside of this. Like, you could toss them in. Maybe the tower with the tether slow will do its job, but after having stolen 2 stacks of Decay Strength, they don't have any finishing blow here. Maybe the tree toss? They toss one more time with the tree? It's still not enough. Febby sneaks in a right click? No! The Rip is going to keep the Undying alive, living up to his name. That's the extent of it. And you know what? This only works if the creep wave is here. Oh, they tossed back BSJ. He doesn't have a time walk out. Can they get BSJ? Oh, they got him! They got him. It works. This dual lane is the most brilliant thing of all time. No, it really isn't. If the creep wave ever goes over here, like, IO Tiny just can't do anything anymore. They're just out of it. However, onto Monkeys. They do land a Shadow Strike. Is that level 2? Only level 1. Monkeys Forever is taking some nice little chip damage here, but should survive. And, oh, QO's playing with a double damage rune. Garter is playing with fire. Spill Shot, though, not quite in range. Garter will slip away. Doesn't have his bottle, though, and he's got to take a long trip back. Now, at least in this game, Leviathan's CS is a lot more even than the last game. So they're not getting completely locked out of it. And also, unlike the last game, even if they should fall behind a little bit, they can fight kind of on par. Like, the Immortal side don't really have any way of constantly pushing for kills since their supports of Rubik and Io. They don't gank. So these lanes are going to stay these lanes pretty much without exception. Very minor exception, let's say. I mean, Nusham's taking reins over in mid, but that's not really going to be a huge twist. So Frev and Febby still chilling on this top lane. Again, I'm not really sure if they can challenge these heroes. Maybe a Jakiro, definitely a possibility, but they kind of need the creep wave to be, again, back here so that they can get those toss combos. You can toss someone back, but if it's not into a tower, like, it doesn't really matter. We'll chase down Dubu, showed up over in the mid lane. We'll toss the Jakiro back onto Febby, but he already got slowed by the tether. One more punch, though, will still get the kill. Back from BSJ, gets one onto Febby. Full bottle from this Io. Toss up will act as just a small stun as Febby will have a little more regeneration in his back pocket if necessary. He is playing things very fast and loose, though. They don't have eyes on the Undying. Luckily, they do have an Observer Ward, so they could see the Undying moving in. Febby has a good amount of health, bottle, and stick, and he should be fine. Get another kill in his top lane, though. This lane really isn't designed to kill off Faceless Voids, though. It's really, I'm not sure if it's designed to kill off Undyings, either. The fact that they got one on the Faceless Void, like, that's already fairly impressive. But BSJ is still remaining pretty undeterred in his farm department, doing just fine. Sand King, though, is having a miserable time again. You don't really get to see the Sand King versus Quap matchup all that often. They do have one sentry on the deck, Monkeys Forever. I don't know if he knows about that, but he might just get thrown into it. Oh, spotted by Dubu. Not much of a point in casting anything, though. Like, this looks kind of stupid, but Monkeys Forever is level 3 as the off lane. Dubu's level freaking 4. He's actually just straight winning this damage trade once he decides to cast spells of his own. Oh no, Garter! We all agree that Prowlers, they suck. Like, Prowlers are actually the worst invention of Ice Frog of all time. He almost died to that thing, man. That would have been embarrassing. Not much of a lead going either way. Definitely the fact that Storm Spirit is not getting completely locked out of this game is quite a nice asset. They do find Rubik on this bottom side. Garter is not going to get that kill, but still getting these two heroes, especially Monkeys, that experience. Getting the Storm Spirit that gold. Not much gold, granted. It's just a Rubik kill, but it's something. Holy crap, Dubu is actually just dirt poor. Dude's got boots and that's it. Feels bad, man. Febby. Don't have many stacks to work with. Are there any stacks to work with? Not really. Okay, they found Monkeys. You know what? No, I don't even regret that. They got 180 gold from that. Stacks are more important, actually. Kyo is going to start building up his. Looks like there's no real plans for the Io. I feel like that's how you optimize this lane. Like, just from a purely theoretical standpoint. Like, you go in for those kills when you can, and then you back off into the stacks. Kind of rinse, repeat forever. And Febby's only level 3, so getting experience in this type of lane is really difficult if you're not getting kills. So you need to kind of lean on your stacks, or lean on the fact that your tiny partner can kill stacks to get back into that level 6 at decent timing. You have Monkeys Forever, level 3 Sand King. We've seen what level 3 Sand Kings can do. Can do quite a bit, but Dubu is here. They should know about this. I don't think he was probably spotted, right? Definitely. Yeah, he's probably spotted. Monkeys Forever is going to abandon ship, give the free lane to MP, which odds are he is probably going to leave soon enough. Someone should take control of that bottom lane. Whitebeard's going to land a 2-man Liquid Fire. Febby and Forev kind of stacking up on one another. First hit bash, no, but they will have a ball lightning in, which almost straight killed the Io. Toss is going to do next to nothing. They bash the Tiny as well. MP's going to come in, make it a 1 for 2, but he gets Chronosphered. Perfect placement by BSJ. With Garter on the outsets, will get the kill. QO's going to arrive, but he doesn't have any game here, despite having a haster, and we'll try to chase after Garter, but up against 2 heroes, soon to be 3 heroes, I don't think this is the time to play like that, QO. He will fall back. MP makes a good rotation, but I do think that was a rotation that probably shouldn't have been made in the first place, or shouldn't have been necessary to make in the first place. Does seem like Frev and Febby are pretty aggressive with this pairing that maybe they should just hit the brakes a little bit, because this is a very limited lane as far as when they can make their offensive plays. I would like to see MP more so be on the ganking route, looking at top lane, looking at mid, try to give you know, the Rubik, the IO, some time to farm this bottom lane. Maybe not now necessarily, seeing as though this faces Void. Shift of lanes is something that they can abuse, but this is a good move by Leviathan. Monkeys Forever, again, is going to have his tower pushed with Sandstorm. You can get stunned out of it, but it should be, for the most part, a very safe experience for him to get some levels, and that's really all you want from the tanking. Dubu's going to get probably dropped. There's not much mana on Garter. Nusham has a Tombstone, which should kill off Dubu if he decides to use it. Or we'll just punch him for a decay. Got him. That's a killing spree for the big zombie. And Dubu's been having a pretty bad time, though level-wise still doing okay. Doesn't have any gold, and most likely will not be getting any gold anytime soon. Kyo in the meantime is clearing off his stacks. BSJ is looking like he wants to set up for some kills. Giving Whitebeard the lane. Extra levels in the Jakiro translates into more tower gold. Definitely a good decision here from Leviathan to give Whitebeard that just a little bit. And especially when you have Chronosphere, Macropyre is at its strongest. The bad thing, though, is that Faceless Void doesn't really jungle. He can do a decent job with his farm. Like, he's got the Aquila, he's got the Power Treads and the Quelling Blade. It's not the slowest thing in the world, but you really don't want to be doing this for extended periods of time. Unless you already have a Mask of Madness. Then your clearing speed is pretty decent. But for right now, this is really slow. Still worth it, probably. But you gotta make sure you get out of this situation as soon as possible and drop a Chronosphere on someone. Say a mid lane hero like Qo, who's going to get Chronosphered by himself. Zombie's gonna start stacking up. TP's coming in. Io and Tiny Qo gonna get a lot of health back from Febby. Telekinesis is there with the Avalanche, but it's still not in time. Monks River and Garter take a pretty big hit. Sonic Wave now gonna cut through, giving MP an instant double kill. As they chase forward, looking for Garter. Dagger is going to be dodged. He's on the low ground. He's gonna get tossed up out of his TP. And MP in the Macropyre, but still very much so alive. Will help deal with Nusham and Whitebeard afterwards. Leviathan have lost all their damage output, and MP's still kicking hard. He's gonna bag the Undying somehow through the tree, and Febby's still Febby, come on, bro. You're literally an IO diving a tier 1 for a Jakiro at half HP. Like, that I don't understand. But I'll tell you what, that was still a pretty good exchange for the Immortal side. 1,900-ish gold in their lead off of that fight. MP makes a big arrival. Now, there is upsides and downsides here. First of all, they lost Qo, and Qo is one of the heavies here for Immortals, so that is very costly. They don't really want MP to get all the kills. And the fact that he's getting kills is all well and good. I mean, he's getting Yule Scepter, he's getting Veil, it's not bad. But they would rather have the kills going towards the TA and the Tiny. Like, those are the heroes that are going to stay relevant in the largest way. Monkeys Forever, oh, Telekinesis, trying to stun him out of that Sandstorm. They do chuck in the IO grenade with the Avalanche, they will take the kill. Man, it used to be so cool when Tether used to stun, you could just toss the IO in, and then it'll stun them. It was pretty sweet. Still having a 100% slow. It's not bad. I think this is 100% slow. Just like stops them, essentially. They'll run into BSJ. Just pass right by. No big deal. Garter should have a Kaya soon. He will have it. Very soon, in fact. Big item for the Storm Spear to have. Leviathan, though, are going to be really lacking the fact that they don't have a Sand King with a Blink Dagger anytime soon. From an offlane standpoint, you're expected to have a Blink Dagger essentially now as a Sand King. Being at all delayed is always bad. As a 4 position, you could kind of accept that loss, but as a 3 position offlane, you really need that item. Tower on top lane will be pushed. Do Leviathan have any game against this? They have Chronosphere, they have Macropyre, they can defend. Unless they lose people beforehand. Sonic Wave on the 2 with a toss. They'll take down Garter immediately and Nusham to follow soon after. Tombstone's up on the high ground. It's going to dodge like every single attack. Chronosphere lands on the 2. The IO is going to get dropped, and the Tiny as well will absorb an entire epicenter for Monkeys Forever. Dubu, though, stolen a Burrow Strike, lands onto 2. Kyo going to try to chase after BSJ as MP is going to go for Whitebeard. Fade Bolt will get the kill on the Dragon, and now they're onto BSJ. Has a time walk out. He cannot get Dubu, but he will also keep himself alive. Monkeys Forever is going in Not really sure if that's the greatest decision, but MP is low on mana. Has a clarity working away, and that's going to give him quite a bit of mana, but not quite fast enough, so they will have to fall back afterwards. A 2 for 2, but taking down the Tiny is a big deal for Leviathan, that's for sure. Losing the Storm Spirit for it, ooh, that's rough, man. Still, I mean, that's probably the best case scenario there for Leviathan. Land a really nice Epicenter despite not having a Blink Dagger. Land a Chronosphere, which BSJ has been nailing Hunt so far this game, like 100% good Chronospheres. So the fact that that fight happened at that time makes it kind of rough, because if they were there a little bit earlier, maybe save the Storm Spirit, just give him a split second to ball lightning out. That could have been a huge change-up. Not gonna happen. Forev gonna get to go into the invis. They don't have any way of revealing him, but they can just... Oh, they do! Look at that, they have a sentry. Gotta move, Forev. Still in sentry range, bro. Hey, now you're good. You can stay there all day if you want to. By the way, people are like almost dying top lane. BSJ is going to get relocated upon, is gonna... Oh, dodge burst strike, but get telekinesed and avalanche. He's gonna have to live for 5 seconds here. Oh, never mind. He's gonna get dilated, stolen by Dubu. And in the meantime, Febby is playing some games on bottom. He'll get jumped by Carter and will be dropped. But BSJ for Febby. Another good trade there for Immortals. Garter just has to live through one fight. Garter lives through one fight, BSJ lives through one fight. Entirely feasible considering who they're playing. Like, Storm Spirit's very difficult to kill as his face is void. We've already seen that. But for right now, just the fact that they're dying every single fight means that Leviathan, even though they debatably even like are you know, coming, let's be generous and say breaking even, they're just not getting the gold in the right heroes. Aegis now for QO. Leviathan do have another bubble up right now, actually, with Shadow Blade on the way. BSJ again has been absolutely nailing his Chronospheres. He just needs everyone else to kind of play well with him. Leviathan definitely have a chance. Just get a couple Chronos. This 4K lead is something that Immortals can very easily lose in pretty standard Immortals fashion, just throwing away their lead. And hey, look at this. We see QO running into everyone and their mom. Does have refraction charges up and a fully charged trap with the jump from Garter with the Qualifier there. QO does have the Aegis and does have a lot of backup coming in. Maybe Leviathan should back off right about now. Up towards the north, Dubu is going to grab a Burrow Strike. QO is going to charge right in, Dual Breath onto the hill, decay onto 3, and there's the Chronosphere onto 3 as well with the Flesh Golem. So much damage, but the sustain from Febby is going to keep MP alive for a little while longer. QO's the Aegis, so he's okay with fighting. They're going to focus onto Forev instead. They'll take down the Tiny as well as the Aegis from the TA. Damage done to Leviathan, quite high, but I think they can still fight, but not until MP comes in with a Sonic Wave, instantly cutting down 2. Monkeys Forever is doing in the middle of the Prowler. The Prowler did the damage, you piece of... Oh my god, I hate Prowlers so much. They're chasing after more. It's Whitebeard. He already shrined up. He's going to Ice Path too, but it's a little bit too little. It's a little bit too late. Immortals will claim the day. And Io is going to go over here, actually, to help out MP. Maybe pick off Garter? No, he's got Kaya. He's got, like, infinite mana. And Leviathan, even with a 3-man Chronosphere like that, even with the... I think it may have been just too late. Like, the sequencing wasn't quite perfect. If they had the Macro Pyre used on the Chronosphere instead of over here, like, that would have been... that was totally not what you... No, I didn't draw that. That was someone else. Then that would have been, like, an easy 3-kill. Or at least a 2-kill. TA did still have that Aegis, but... The fact that they didn't have any damage to put into the Chronosphere, like, that's just one of the downsides. You still don't have an Epicenter on the Sand King, or a Blink Epicenter on the Sand King. So you can't just jump him into it. Undying through in a decay, Flesh Golemed up and jumped in. That's about all he can do. You just don't have enough follow-up with these heroes, so Immortals able to out-tank. Doing no small part thanks to this Io. They're going to run into QO one more time. He does have a Blink Dagger, but oh my god, that Desolator hits hard. Garter has infinite mana with Kaya, so you're never going to get that kill, TA.
Double damage.
This tower now being pushed. Forev has a Shadow Blade ready. He's got S and Y on the way. And is playing pretty much like a regular one-position Tiny. A little bit slow on his timings compared to one position, but still, that's pretty darn good. DD on the Templar Assassin, that's pretty good as well. Leviathan do have another Chronosphere in 15. Unfortunately, in 15 seconds, this tower will be dead for about 14 seconds. Although if Immortals... Okay, this is how Immortals are going to lose this game. If they do lose, it's going to be right here. Like, the fact they're pushing up high ground without having any Aegis cover into a Chronosphere. Like, that is how Immortals will lose. At least they have the presence of mind to recognize it and back off.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, Immortals. When is going to be that one throw point? I don't think I've ever seen Immortals take a game clean. Like, the last game was a good game by them. They played well, they won. It wasn't clean though because of that like one just mad feed fest. But you never know. You never know. Looking at Monkeys now, has a lot of cover, might be a bait. BSJ is gonna think about shadow amuleting in. Gonna turn around though as a relocate does come in. Monkeys Forever is gonna get chased down by QO. Lots of damage here from the Templar Assassin. BSJ has a Chronosphere, but Monkeys Forever is gonna burrow through the trees and we'll be fine. Relocate was used there off to the side. They'll find Forev. Although he is gonna get yanked out by the IO. That's the retreat relocate, I believe, and yes it is. That's of course gonna leave the rest of Immortals kind of out to dry if they can get chased down. Garter has Ball Lightning, but oh, Dubu is going to get the lift off beforehand. Can steal Ball Lightning here for a lot more distance. Gets hit with the Burrow Strike instead and should be dropping free. Kind of surprised he didn't steal from the Storm Spirit because he didn't have anything. Losing Dubu on the retreat. Quite a small deal there from Immortals. He's the one they want to lose, right? But he got drums. Sorry, Dubu. You're not going to have a game like last game where you actually have items. This is still already impressive for Rubik, honestly. Right now, this Tricore of Immortals, the fact that this is still a greedy setup, not really going to affect him that much. Kyo's going to jump in straight for Nushim. Decay's going to give him a little bit of juice, Soul Rip as well, but not enough juice. The rest of the Leviathan side going to abandon their Undying. Definitely the right call there. But Tiny, he is invisible. I don't know how this gigantic rock monster becomes invisible, but he is. And now he's not. He's got to wait. They're just being very, very Immortals right now. Like, tower? You don't go for the tower with the Tiny. You go for kills, man. You go kill their face off. Tower down, SMY right around the corner here for a Tiny. BSJ, Shadow Blade still not up yet. This item, the most important item perhaps from Leviathan, Blink Dagger, still not up for Monkeys. He's pretty much got it locked up though, so having an Epicenter just to blink in to the Chronosphere with, like, that's a lot of easy damage here from a Sand King. Got an Orc on the Storm Spirit. These items are still coming up from Leviathan, like, despite being 9k behind. They have enough relevant items that they can make a team fight happen. QO. We saw him do this last time. Last time I watched Immortals, he did it over here. Just like camping out in the bounty room with Meld. Tried to go for a gyrocopter and just died. He's gonna try it again. That's not gonna work because of the smoke revealing that someone's up there. Just classic QO. Now, Leviathan, even though they do have these kind of bare necessity items, still need to execute with those items properly. That means BSJ has to continue landing these great Chronospheres. Epicenters have to follow. Storm Spirit's got to get on the right targets, i.e. Queen of... she has Yules. I'm not even sure that's the right target. Probably the IO at this point. Just a mechanism to save this ball of light. Storm Spirit can put him down pretty quickly, despite the mechanism being up, and Immortals are going to smoke up the high ground. BSJ. Oh, it's only Dubu. He's the only one there. Monkey Survivors is still going to Epicenter onto Templar Assassin. Chronosphere is available. Does land only onto one, though. And, well, the IO is going to be caught by the Chronosphere as well, but perhaps still here to do the damage, as is MP. No Sonic Wave, though. Gets Burrow Struck right after. That Yule Scepter's done. The chase is on now for Dubu. Over the hills, they're going to chase easily. Triple kill for Garter, and just like that, Leviathan gets some action in this game. Walk up a high ground like that. Get the Epicenter off. Again, not like the Dream or anything like that, but they don't need the Dream. That's good enough. Killing off a Queen of Pain, who, though she does have a Yule Scepter, doesn't really have all that much survivability as far as raw HP is concerned. It will be Leviathan taking a pretty big step forward in this game. Immortals pretty much got nothing done there. And that's just what happens when you walk up the high ground. I mean, we've all seen the movie. We all know how over it is when someone has the high ground. It's pretty over. Burrow Strike. Stolen again by the Rubik. Quite a nice one to have.
Middle tower is under
Guarding
attack.
Greaves next on the IO. Gotta get himself out from that soul burn of the Orchid. Pretty sure that's about all it does. Minor slows perhaps, but nothing too huge. Can't kill the face off of Faceless Void. Got me. Well played, chat. Well played. You are correct. QO's still on top, but Garter in this game is actually a relevant force. And BSJ, though he may not have quite as much farm as he would really like, does have a Shadow Blade with Mask of Madness. And at the end of the day, your Faceless Void, as long as you land a half-decent Chronosphere, it really doesn't matter how much farm you have. You'd prefer more farm, but he can certainly do his job with the amount of farm he has right now. He doesn't really need anything else moving forward. He still will, you know, probably Maelstrom, BKB, those type of items. Really small, easy to build up, cost-effective items on the Faceless Void. It's really all about Garter and whether or not Immortals can answer him. They don't have any additional item answers coming out. No, they do have an Orchid on the Queen of Pain. That's something that Storm Spirit's really going to be unhappy about. Usually Storm Spirits, their option as far as countering that is going to be BKB, which is still going to be a long ways off considering he just picks up his Bloodstone. He will next pick up his Bloodstone. So get Bloodstone, get BKB, then you're good to go. Other than that, stun duration from Immortals, not incredibly high. Like, Avatoss is good, but it's really hard to land properly. Telekinesis is great with the Burrow Strike as well. Dubu is going to Burrow Strike out of here and steal a Time Walk to Time Walk out of there. Wow, that was slick. But, like, Telekinesis is great, but it's not that much duration. Unless you have, like, everyone beating down the Storm Spirit, and the odds of that happening are very low. So this Garter Storm is going to be a large force. And this is just Storm nowadays. Like, if you actually survive up to the point where you have Bloodstone, Kaya, and a Orchid, like, you're going to be destroying someone. Speaking of destroying someone, Epicenter here from Monkeys. Dubu does have a Time Walk. Burst damage, it is not enough. And now Monkeys Forever is going to get stunned out of his Sandstorm. No, the cart didn't stun. Avalanche will stun, though. Monkeys Forever is going to try to make a break for it. He's pretty speedy, all things considered, but he's still going to pop through the Soul Burn. You know what? I like the move. You gotta try it, man. You gotta try to go for those kills. Maybe it's not worth it. It's probably not. You know what? But that's fine, because you can't live with yourself if you don't try to go for those type of plays. Oh, hey, that's convenient. Roshan's up, double damage is up. That seems fair. Hero's got the Meld minus armor plus the Desolator. This is Roche number 2, so there's going to be a cheese, and Leviathan are coming in hot. BSJ is going to be able to grab the cheese here. No, actually, someone does grab it in the end. I don't see it. Macropyre is down with the Chronosphere. Lots of damage being done, but not enough front-loaded, and BSJ is going to get one-shot by QO. They do lose the Rubik in the meantime, as Garter is able to do his full damage payload, but Monkeys Forever is under vision. He will be dropped, and now so will Nushim. That's a 3-for-1 exchange. Where is the cheese? It was picked up by the Quap, even though could you pick up cheese in the Chronosphere? It looked like it was on the floor in the Chronosphere. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe he was outside the Chronosphere or something. But either way, Garter does his job. The problem is that BSJ, because he has this build, I don't know if he was berserked, but either way, he is still a paper-thin hero. He needs the execution to be perfect, and the execution was good. Macropyre was there, but just not quite enough damage here, as Immortals do not consume the cheese, do not lose the Aegis. They'll just plow themselves into this mid lane and top lane, looking for 2 racks. There's going to be a Faceless Void up in 3 seconds, but with no Chronosphere, he's not a relevant hero. Like, he just doesn't do enough damage compared to a Tiny, compared to a TA. There's no contest there. It looks like 2 racks will in fact be gained. They're going to try to go for MP, but they're lining up for the spill shots from QO. MP's going to get saved by the IO as well. They'll take down Garter. Down for only 30 seconds, but BSJ soon fall afterwards. Nice Burrow Strike onto 3 heroes for Monkeys Forever, but it's not enough to kill because of that mechanism. They will keep the Tombstone alive for a little while longer. They're kind of getting bogged down in it, but finally it'll fall as they do land the Soul Burn onto the Undying. Here's an Epicenter onto 2 heroes. Cheese is up from MP, though, and with the Aegis on QO, they're back at full HP. Nushim's going to get blown up, so will Monkeys Forever. Forev is dropping low, but he's expendable at this point, and he's not even going to die. He's just going to chuck MP straight in towards the Dragon. Guard is going to buy out, maybe trying to kill off that Tiny, but it's risky. He'll take the IO who walks into the fountain. Sure. Oh, Immortals. You slay me. Garter is going to dodge every single stun. Dubu, though, they line up with the Soul Burn and the Burrow Strike, and he's dead. No buyback. Not really sure if that was the play, Io. But they will still probably take Megas. What are you guys doing? Guys, stop that. Get back here. Just win the game. Get Megas. 30 minutes. Once again, BSJ lands a Chronosphere onto 3. QO, though, doing some pretty serious damage with the minus armor and a long-range Burrow Strike from Dubu. Well, got him. Tiny and Io are both going to immediately buy back, and BSJ. Good attempt. Good attempt. Yeah, again, you got to go for those. But it again looks like a game where Leviathan are kind of outclassed. The throw portion of this game that you would expect from Immortals, not really all that huge in this particular one. Just one botched fight. As long as you can limit it to one botched fight, you don't continuously chain feed, you should be fine. So this game, they gave Garter a little bit of a better start, but BSJ, the fact that he died that first time to the Io Tiny, the fact that he then had to kind of slowly jungle to get some space for his allies, like, the Chronospheres were amazing. It did seem like, though, that BSJ was once again a victim of circumstance. Like, he played the hero really well, but the resource allocation in both of these two games for Leviathan just seemed way off the mark. Like, no Blink Dagger in time for the Sand King. I don't know if that drums was necessarily worth it. Garter was getting farm, but he could just, like, limit himself to one pickoff, and that's pretty much it. And you look at the Immortal side, the gold was a lot more evenly spread out between all their cores. Like, they're a lot more closer together as far as their farm is concerned. But either way, guys, Immortals are going to claim a 2-0 victory here. Make it like the shortest day, second shortest day of Galaxy Battles here on BTS. We got ourselves some results for tomorrow. 2 p.m. EST. We're going to watch the Koreans once again as they take on Optic Gaming in a best of 3. Again, tomorrow, 2 o'clock. And then later on that day, 6 o'clock, we'll be watching VGJ Storm, who won earlier, take on Complexity. So we got some really primo games moving forward, guys. That's all going to be happening tomorrow. But for right now, there are going to be no more games today. NA is done for the day. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed the games, if you guys enjoyed the casting, be sure to follow along for the conclusion of the NA qualifiers for Galaxy Battles. If you enjoyed the casting, you can follow me at Mike Loris on Twitter, Facebook, Mike Loris Gaming, because Mike Loris was taken by some random guy. Guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. GG.